All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a tool from Google that's making some serious waves, NotebookLM. It's being sold as this incredible next-gen AI research assistant. But the big question is it actually a real learning partner, or is it just a fancy shortcut? Let's break it down. Look, we have all been there. You might be a student just buried in research papers, or a professional trying to make sense of a dozen industry reports. Or maybe you're just trying to learn something new and complex. The amount of information coming at you can feel totally overwhelming. So, what exactly is this thing? Well, to put it simply, it's a private AI model that only works with the documents you give it. AI educator Jen Lenner puts it perfectly, its entire universe is made up of the files you upload. Think of it like a walled garden for your research, completely cut off from the wide open internet. And this is the absolute key difference between NotebookLM and other AIs we're all used to. Unlike something like ChatGPT that pulls its answers from the entire web, NotebookLM is source-grounded. This means every single answer it gives is cited directly from your documents, which is supposed to make it way more accurate. And maybe even more importantly, your stuff doesn't get used to train the main model, which gives you a great layer of privacy. And you can feed it pretty much anything you can think of. I mean, we're talking PDFs, Google Docs, links to websites, even entire YouTube videos and MP3 audio files. This is so important because, let's be real, research isn't just a bunch of text files, right? It's a mix of everything. So that's the basic idea. But where NotebookLM really starts to get interesting isn't just in summarizing things. Let's dive into some of the features that are truly next level. And it's really no surprise that a whole bunch of different people are finding this useful. You've got students turning massive textbooks into quick study guides, professionals analyzing a stack of market reports in minutes. The possibilities here are really, really broad. But there is one feature that people online are calling an absolute game changer: the audio overview. Now, this doesn't just read your documents to you. No, it actually creates a conversation about them, and you can even jump in with your own questions. And getting it to work is just brilliantly simple. You just upload your materials, your notes, articles, videos, whatever. You click one button, and boom, the AI spits out a podcast-style chat between two AI hosts. You can even interrupt them while they're talking to ask for more detail. It's wild. This feature can turn the most boring, dry material into something you actually want to listen to. For instance, one consultant talked about how they uploaded a mess of project notes, client emails, and screenshots, and NotebookLM wove it all into a really compelling case study. And apparently, the AI voices sound supernatural, sometimes even throwing in a little sarcasm or snark just to keep things interesting. This also just completely changes how you can learn. Imagine taking a bunch of dense white papers, industry reports, and expert videos, and turning them into a custom research podcast you can listen to at the gym or on your commute. All that passive time suddenly becomes active learning time. Okay, so it all sounds pretty incredible, right? A private, super powerful research assistant that turns your messy notes into interactive podcasts. But as people really started using it, they found a pretty significant catch. The big promise is that this tool analyzes your sources, but the critical question people started asking was, wait a minute, is it actually reading all of my sources? Especially if I upload, say, a 400-page book or a massive report. And the answer, which users on Reddit figured out through some frustrating experiments, was a clear no. To put it bluntly, like one user did, the tool just can't see all the data in a big file. It has a limited window, so it doesn't process the whole thing at once. It only sees a fraction of it. So why does it do this? Well, the tech behind it is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Now, instead of reading your entire 300-page book every time you ask a question, which would take forever, it does a quick search to find what it thinks are the most relevant little chunks from your documents, and it only feeds those chunks to the AI to answer you. And get this, when a user actually pushed the AI on its own limitations, it admitted it. It said its analysis is strictly limited to the excerpts it was provided. So here's the bottom line. If the system doesn't pull the right chunk of text, the AI will never see that info, even though it's sitting right there in the document you uploaded. Now, this limitation doesn't make the tool useless, not at all, but it does mean we have to be smart about how we use it. This isn't some magic box. It's a powerful but definitely flawed assistant. So let's put together a playbook for how to use it the right way. First, and this is the most important thing, always verify. Use the citations it gives you and check its work against your original files. Think of it as a launch pad for your analysis, not the final word. And a really practical tip, if you've got huge documents, break them up into smaller chunks or chapters before you upload them. It just gives the system a much better shot at finding what it needs. A guide from Florida State University had this fantastic golden rule. And it's really the main question you have to keep asking yourself. Is your goal to understand the material on a deeper level? If so, you're on the right track. But if your goal is to avoid reading the material in the first place, well, you're probably crossing a line. And here are the big warning signs that you're leaning on it too much. If you find you can't actually explain a concept in your own words without saying, well, the AI said, or if you're just skipping the readings altogether because the summary seems good enough, it's time to step back. The whole point is to make your own thinking better, not to outsource it. So where does all this leave us? NotebookLM is, without a doubt, a powerful tool. It's got some features that are legit game changers. But those hidden limitations and the temptation to just use it as a shortcut, those are very, very real. In the end, the question isn't really about the tool's power. It's about our own intention. Is it an assistant that helps us think better, or is it a shortcut that helps us avoid thinking at all? That's the choice every single one of us has to make.